Philadelphia. I will take it. I would like to thank the Philadelphia Eagles for remembering that they have wide receivers. That's right. Welcome to the Watching the Birds podcast and social club. It is a crisp 4:30 p.m. on a Sunday, and you and I are going to enjoy this Two Moods Orange Crush together for a little post-game victory. 326 yards, 3 touchdowns, 23 passing attempts, 19 completions. That's good enough for a 158.3 passer rating, which is known as perfect. Thank you very much. What the fuck is everyone's problem with not understanding that is not ability with Jalen Hurts? It never has been. It never will be. He just carved up the number one passing defense in the NFL. Everything that I was worried about, even with Jalen Hurts stepping into this game, he said, I got you. No problem. Watch this. Here's DeVonta Smith for 9 and 183. Here's AJ in the first play that I throw a touchdown, a guy that I'm going to throw a touchdown later on to in the game, and guess what? He's there to close it out. It took 6.5 games to get Jalen Hurts under center to run a play-action pass and throw a 79 yard bomb to DeVonta Smith for a touchdown. We have looked at every single facet of this offense, and we can tell what Potato knows and doesn't know, and certainly how this isn't your lead. That first drive against the Vikings was incredible. It was aggressive. It had a lot of balls to it. You were 4th and 4 and said, we're going to keep moving forward. We're going to set the tone and set the momentum because we know that's not Joe fucking Flacco. That is Carson Wentz. And if it was Joe Flacco, I think our butts would be a little more sweaty today. But I do not need to understand why Jalen Hurts wants things a certain way, why A.J. Brown wants things a certain way, DeVonta Smith wants things a certain way. But consciously, we have arrived at the identity. And yes, they are not an empty running 4 verts like I want them to and passing the ball all over the place, but they are throwing the football. This is a passing football team until it is not. Cam Jurgens being out, major detrimental to some of that momentum that they did have with the running game very early on in this. Saquon Barkley ends with 18 carries, 2.4 yards per carry. 44 yards if you're keeping track of the counting math at home on the ground. That's just not great. It's not great for Saquon Barkley. Like, you see him getting consistently dinged up because they're shutting things down. There are times where you're running on 3rd and 5 and you're asking yourself, why are you trying to play for the field goal? Jake misses that and we're all sitting there again, very sweaty, and if Carson Wentz is remotely accurate, T.J. Hawkinson, and that's a touchdown, and we're suddenly waiting for when Jalen Hurts is going to throw the game-winning touchdown anyway, so it doesn't really matter in that case to me. But this is where the entire team's identity is right now. And yet again, this is another game where the defense is letting and allowing you to figure out what you want to do offensively, because Jalen Hunt used to be a safety, baby, and they have no problem dropping him into coverage, and Carson Wentz didn't seem at all brilliant call by Vic. Huge hit by JC. To me, it's the game-changing play that early. It is the difference in the score. And of course, Carson Wentz just not being able to hit wide open wide receivers for touchdowns all over the field. So they were going to have to throw themselves out of this no matter what. And I understand that, like, trying to respect the run game and trying to say that this is what we did well, this is what our offensive line does well. I'm just going to be completely honest. If Jordan Mailata continues to play the way he does, especially versus the run, he's kind of been all over the place this year, right? So I want Jordan to feel comfortable about the run game being in there, but every time that this presents itself as a problem, it just never wants to fully commit to Jalen's arm. You and I probably have been yelling and screaming about this forever, because at some point you are going to have to do that. And I can criticize Jalen about the things that he has control of. That Denver game, he had control of throwing another touchdown in that one. The Giants game, terrible game by him, terrible game by everybody. He was the most noticeable in it. Fair criticisms from there. But people acting like Jalen Hurts was about to regress back to 2021, if you felt that way, then largely in part, you really have to accept now that your offensive coordinator has no feeling and no movements. There seems to be a lot of questionable decisions to get this offense going. But when you allow Jalen to get it going, and it is not like the Eagles' offensive line hasn't been showing you that it's been protecting very well despite all of those changes, even with Jordan Mailata still not playing his best ball right now. The times that this offensive staff doesn't get confused and doesn't just go, all right, well, we have to do this thing because we're expecting them to do this thing. What we heard over the last 10 days was kind of over-preparing for certain situations against certain defenses, and it looked less and less of that. It looked like we've got a mismatch over here. Isaiah Rodgers is getting his ass kicked basically all game except a couple of pretty decent plays, and it showed up every time, and it showed up at the end of the game. Great. And really, today is about for everyone, including me, that was asking for 4 quarters, got it. This was, for the most part, a complete game outside of, if you want to argue that the second quarter was a disaster, sure. But I don't think anyone was hanging on or anyone was really dragging ass as the game kept going on. It seemed to get a lot faster for Jalen and everybody else, and the stats obviously say that too. I don't think I have too many other takeaways from the offense other than that. They're doing what we want them to do now. You're a passing team. Thank you. And with that in mind, you're going to have to continue to be one for quite a while, because let Cam get healthy too. Just like you're getting Landon to about as healthy as you can get him now. He's probably going to need a couple of games off, and I'm not sure I love Campbell on the edge if this is your best bet. Obviously by now you have heard all of the different rumors of Brandon Graham coming out of retirement from Adam Schefter like 3 hours before game time. Those are going to get heavy. I expect him here back by Wednesday and probably playing by Sunday. It's one thing for Zadarius Smith to retire. It's then another for Azeez to come out of this game too. Azeez Ojulari went out and didn't come back in. And I won't go as far to say that Campbell was useless out there, but man, it makes that shuffle between Dean and Bond and him a little more interesting now, because essentially you're kind of, I won't say taken away, you're not playing like 11 on 10, but sometimes it feels like that on snaps. There was a lot of pre-draft, maybe he could be in that Micah Parsons role, and I just, every time that, and I'm glad we all found out, trust me. I would rather find this out this week than see if he can just do it all the time next week or whatever, but that's just something I don't think you're going to be able to do moving forward. So I was expecting a lot of like Bond coming in and crashing, Campbell coming back out with Dean and Bond crashing, Campbell just hanging out by himself. A lot of those. Didn't really see that much, and granted, we'll give them a little more time because I think the defense is just going through it right now. Dory Jackson goes down, Ringo comes back in, Ringo knocks out a Jomo for a play. It's just, I feel bad for Vic. He's doing a lot. They're doing as best as they can. And I know you're all thinking if there was a better quarterback out there, this game would have been different. And yes, I can't argue that. Even if it was Sam Howell back there. That's kind of interesting, isn't it? Like Sam Howell gives the Vikings a much better chance to win this football game because he's just got to find one open wide receiver. And he's sitting on the bench of the Philadelphia Eagles because Kevin O'Connell and company thought that son of a bitch was a better option. So to not get all Adam Schefter on you, but Howie won this game a long time ago. JJ being out, Sam Howell not coming in. Sam Howell wins that game easily, or not easily. Sam Howell is in a shootout with Jalen Hurts, and the best man wins, and the best man would have won today, even if Sam was there today as well. Jalen Hurts was on fire. Just let him do this, man. Let him, AJ, and DeVonta do this. I loved everything that went to Dallas early. I would still welcome different matchups for Dallas Goedert. Stop sticking him in there, trying to block and get this run game going. Like, that's just another, can I just say that's just another dumb thing. The man has a knee issue. He is fighting through it. He's out there playing. And you want him to block while your offensive line, it's just like, don't have a guy that is having already a hard time running as fast as he can. A guy that needs to get to the bye week. And you're out there complaining about Dallas Goedert getting shavawaked in run blocking situations. Coaching staff, not Dallas Goedert, right? You're playing at 87%, 75%, whatever you want to say. This team needs to get to the bye week badly. And if Jalen Hurts shows up and Kevin Potato allows him to show up and shell out just like he did, this team is in great hands. Great hands. Close games, sure. Shootouts, absolutely. Pulling our hair out all the time. But that is what I like to see. Trust your quarterback. Trust these two wide receivers. They're from the SEC. I'll see you on Tuesday. Go Birds.